Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in. I'm Fabiano Martucci, researcher, yogi, and father of this beautiful girl, Sofia. In this video, I'm going to talk about desires, expectations, and pluralistic ignorance, focusing on how it influences your behavior and decisions, and also what it has to do with prejudice and racism. In the end, you will find my takeaways for you. The Cambridge Dictionary defines expectations as the feeling or belief that something will or should happen. It is different from a desire, which is a strong feeling of wanting something. Both are present in our daily life and they connect past, present, and future. Let's start by detailing what desires are. Everyone has desire of one kind or another. People want things, experience, and achievements. In a continuous process, we go on desiring for more and more throughout our lives. And as soon as we fulfill a desire, another arises. The life of a desire can be short or long. For example, when your body asks you for a specific substance like caffeine, nicotine, or sugar, and you take it, that is, you drink a mug of coffee or smoke a cigarette, one desire is extinguished. However, a few hours later, a new will be born. Other desires need a much more time to be fulfilled. Getting promoted at work or buying a car can take months or even years to materialize. But once you've accomplished what you wished, you will look for the next step. We, human beings, are not easily satisfied with what we have. Mandukya Upanishad, a yogi scripture from the beginning of the Common Era, explains that every thought, feeling, and action creates an impression in mind. When you enjoy the experience you have had or appreciate what you have consumed, you will want to have it repeatedly, as much as possible, generating a compulsion to repeat that previous experience. The concept described in the Upanishad converges to what science says. Physiologically, the brain develops priorities based mainly on the amount of dopamine it expects to obtain. Dopamine is a hormone and a neurotransmitter which plays a vital role in your decision-making process. Activities that release large amounts of dopamine generate feelings of pleasure and reward, which in turn motivates you to do them again and again. For example, consuming foods you like, having sex or using drugs releases large amounts of dopamine, but cleaning the house, washing the dishes and studying are not that exciting. And when there is little dopamine involved, the motivation to perform such action is less. Yet, expectations are different from desires. Cristina Bicchieri, a philosopher and professor at the University of Pennsylvania, explains that expectations are beliefs about what will happen or what should happen. They presuppose a continuity between the past or the future with the present, that is, between what was or what will be approved or disapproved with what is approved or disapproved now. We develop expectations after observing how people behave or when some reliable source tells us that people behave in a certain way, and we have expectations about others as much others have about us. Mostly, we are influenced by the actions and beliefs of our reference network, the set of individuals whose actions and opinions are important to me and influence my decision making. There are different types of expectations, and I will address two of them. The first called Empirical Expectations, first order beliefs. They express your beliefs about what others do or will do and about how people are going to act or react in certain situations. Secondly, you have second-order beliefs, the Normative Expectations, which expresses your beliefs about other people's expectations. Basically, you think that other people believe that certain behaviors are praiseworthy and should be carried out, while others should be avoided. Let's go through some examples to clarify it. I think that men are not concerned with mental health, or I believe that people who have Rasta dreadlocks smoke weed. It's true, they do, no? And normative expectations. I think that people believe that yoga teachers shouldn't drink nor smoke. And also, that they should speak calmly and always have a serene face. So far, you have seen let's say, a bit stupid but not very alarming and harmful behavior. But what if it was a police officer seeing a person with red locks and assuming that person is a drug user? Or when a store security guard watches a black man entering and guesses that he is going to steal something? Or when someone believes that a Muslim is more likely to commit a terrorist attack than a white man? Very complicated. That is what I call prejudice, racism, and intolerance. In some cases, expectations result in pluralistic ignorance. As I explained, we continuously observe what others do, and based on those observations, we interpret their preference and beliefs. And usually, we assume that people's behavior is consistent with their beliefs. We deduce that when a person takes a certain attitude, or when someone is engaged in a specific behavior, it's because he or she approves it. However, this is not always the case. The misperception of reality fosters pluralistic ignorance, a collective divergence between behavior and belief. It happens when many people privately condemn an action, but mistakenly believe that others endorse it. Since people think that everyone approves that behavior, they decide to engage in the same type of behavior. People simply go with the crowd and obey to the group standards. In the end, there is a disconnection between the prevalence of a conduct and the support for it, which in turn perpetuates a praxis that they don't even like. Let me illustrate it. In her research, Cristina Bicchieri found that prison officers in interviews and questionnaires demonstrate a much more lenient, mild disposition towards inmates. Still, because they observe much more severe and stern behavior from their colleagues, they believe that everyone endorses that kind of behavior. Due to that, the guards decide to behave in the same way as their peers, being tough against the inmates. Fear of embarrassment and desire to fit in weaken the communication and reflection among the group. No one even raises the questions about the group's behavior. The perception is entirely wrong and people obey a norm that most of them dislike. Pluralistic ignorance can occur anywhere, in groups of cops, teachers, within the family environment, in the workplace, and also in rural and religious communities. The example shows that, in general, you believe that people close to you know what they are doing. You trust them and therefore decide to imitate, reciprocate, or coordinate with them. We, humans, desire to be liked, loved, to belong and to go along. We generally adopt the group's predominant standards and behaviors to gain or avoid losing social appreciation, respect, and acceptance. So I ask you, what is the weight of the opinion and expectations of other people in your life? Do they influence you? Are you carrying everything on your shoulders? Before we go any further, I would like to remind you that in the last video I explained how the mind works and how the ego, identification with form, ideas and groups, can influence our decisions and well-being. If you don't remember, click here and watch the video. Now that we are aware of how internal and external influence guide our decisions and impacts our well-being, let's see how people can change our behavior. Here are my takeaways for you. Reflecting. For me, self-reflection is always the first step. Identify the needs, the cause, and triggers of a particular behavior. Discovering. Realize that some of your beliefs are false can be very helpful. Search, read, and chat. Open your mind to different points of views from those you already know. Communication is very important here. Creating. Explore new alternatives to satisfy your needs. Try something new, create a new preference, develop new habits, find a new hobby, meet new people, and create new connections. Seizing. Seize the external conditions which create the needs and desires. Stay away from what corrupts and harms you, from what triggers the behavior you want to change. Say no to what is intoxicating you. Change your environment. These points can give you the needed push to start the change process, or rather, transformation process. However, change is not easy. It takes willpower and perseverance. Even when we see the benefits of a new behavior and want it, the costs involved make it difficult to achieve the desired change. It's tempting and convenient to maintain old habits. You need to allocate tasks to ensure that the old habits are abandoned. Don't let the others' opinions guide you, nor allow them to decide for you. Seek your freedom, think for yourself, and don't carry the expectations or burdens of others on your shoulders. And that's all for today. Thank you for watching. Comment if you have questions or suggestions. I would love to answer you. If you want to go deeper into the topic, take a look at the reference I added in the video descriptions. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel and share it with your friends. In the next video I will talk about freedom and free will. Are you free? Think about it. The crowdfund campaign is running. Donate and choose the reward that you prefer. In return for your contribution, you can schedule yoga classes, mentoring sessions, project evaluations, or even pre-order my book. Access transformationsteps.org for more information. Thank you very much.